In this video, we're going to do a quick comparison between the original Pixel Fold and the new Pixel Fold, which is called the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. And this will be from an accessibility perspective. Hi everyone, this is Carrie on Accessibility, where we explore technology and accessibility. This is in a slightly different format than usual, and let me know in the comments what you think. Let's go ahead and just jump right in. First of all, the new Pixel Fold is much more narrow and a little taller, whereas the original Pixel Fold is much wider and shorter. So the new Pixel Fold has a more similar aspect ratio to other phones that are not foldables. When you hold the two of these, the new Pixel Fold is much easier to hold in the hands. I have pretty small hands, and this definitely is easier to hold than this wide original Fold. The new one is also significantly lighter. If you hold both of these in your hands, you will immediately feel that this is lighter. So putting these two side by side on the edge, here we go. We can see the new version is thinner, even though it is taller. The original Pixel Fold has these curved edges, and you can put your fingers or your thumbs in between the fold a little easier, and you can unfold it. However, it does not unfold flat, and that you can definitely feel the crease where the fold is. And whereas the new version, because this has more flat edges, it is a little bit harder to kind of hold those two sides and pull it apart, but once you start it, it feels much smoother and it can fold out completely flat. The crease is definitely a lot smoother, harder to see, less distinct, and that is definitely a plus, especially when using magnification. So if I do a triple tap here, when I go over the crease, you can still feel the crease, but it's a lot less than the original Pixel Fold. There have been times with the original where while I'm moving across the unfolded phone, magnification stops. This is very occasional, I will say, but it will stop in the middle because my finger kind of jumps to the other side. That is also sometimes an issue for me when using TalkBack, if there's a lot of controls on the screen, but it's really not a huge issue. You can easily have two apps open, one on the left and one on the right. However, if you do this and you use magnification, there's a very annoying orange border right in the middle. And I don't know why it doesn't go just around the screen, and it goes around each app. It looks even worse if you open the keyboard if there's two apps open. It just has lines everywhere, and this is a huge issue that impacts the whole UI, honestly, on folds. If you use other aspect ratios and the magnification border is just always there. I just wish we could just get rid of the border altogether. The fingerprint scanners are very good on both of these. The new one, the new Pixel Fold, has a slightly better face unlock. Still needs way too much light. Still not the best, honestly, for me. I like the clickiness of both buttons for volume up, volume down. They're both about the same for me. Honestly, it's not that much of a difference. They're both quite satisfying to close. That was the original. I'm going to open the new one and close it. There we go. The new one closes flat, and the camera bumps are also different. The new one has more of a square, and whereas the original has more of a bar across it. I don't really mind this too much aesthetically, but when you put it on the table, the original, it stays still. But for the new one, if you put it down, it can be a little unsteady. You do have to exert a bit of force for it to wobble though. I have to really push down that left side. Let's try the audio quality on the original. This is at max volume. I'm falling into the distance between our souls. Don't know why you and me. And let's try the new one. Souls. Don't know why you and me in so far. Just to slam the door on my face. I'm trying hard not to. So I think overall, with my usage of both of them, the new foldable is a little louder, a little better, but honestly it's not significantly improved. It still sounds pretty good. However, something like the iPhone 14 Pro Max or the Pixel 9 Pro XL feels a lot better. Let's talk a little bit about aspect ratio. I'm going to open both of these, and you'll notice that there are quite a few kind of overlapping icons here. That is because I am using Nova Launcher and not the built-in Pixel launcher. It won't have that. I also removed the text since it's usually truncated. But let's open up Gmail. Here we go. I have Gmail open on both. On the original, it will be a side by side. There is your inbox on the left, which is like a side panel, and then the email on the right. Whereas on the new one, it is just a stretched out version. There's no two separate columns. If we turn the Pixel Fold original, now it is a stretched out version of an app. And if we actually turn the new Pixel Fold, now it will be a side-by-side inbox on the left and email on the right, while there is a horizontal crease right in the middle. So that's something interesting for me. Now I want to show you YouTube. On both of these experiences, we have multiple columns here. On the new Pixel Fold, there's 3 columns. On the original Pixel Fold, there's 3 columns, and we'll scroll down and let's see how they react if we turn them to the side here. We've got this one rotated and this one rotated. So on the new one, there's still 3 columns, and on the original, there are now, let's see, still 3 columns. So in my experience, there have been times where these kind of change, and sometimes you'll have more or less, and there's no way to just stretch it out to be a normal kind of YouTube experience where there is only 1 column or like a stretched out version of YouTube. So for example, here is my Pixel 9 Pro XL, and there's only 1 column of videos when you have more space for a title, whereas on here there is less space for titles, which can be frustrating. The new Pixel Fold definitely can go much brighter than the original. I don't think that you'll be able to see this on a video, but we'll try to increase the brightness to maximum for both of these. And there we go. It is they're both on max brightness. And on the left here, this is the new Pixel Fold, and it is definitely brighter, much brighter, significantly so. Now another difference is, since the aspect ratio is kind of taller and thinner on the new Pixel Folds versus the old one, when it is open, the original is kind of a wider format when there's like considering both screens, and when it's open, the new Pixel Fold is more square. But when you cut that in half, you have less space. So for example, these quick toggle tiles, they have much less space. We have a tile for flashlight. On the left here, we have the new Pixel Fold that just says FLASH, and on the right, the original has more letters, LASHLI. So you have a little bit less truncation. Honestly, no matter what Android phone, if you're using larger font size, larger display scaling, you are going to get quite a bit of truncation, especially with the quick toggles. I would recommend putting them in memorable spots and arrange them in a way that the ones you use the most are at the top and on the first page. One other observation is that on the original, this grid of toggles is 2 by 3, whereas on the new Pixel Fold, we have 2 columns still, but if we scroll down, there's actually 5 different toggles on the first page. What I meant is there's 5 rows and 2 columns, so there's 10 on that first page for the new Pixel Fold. Here we have the Pixel Phone app for the folds, and you can see they have a side-by-side or a two-pane app layout here. So a lot of different apps, they want to optimize it and have 2 different sides. As somebody with low vision, that's actually more frustrating. I don't like that because it truncates the text. It cuts off a lot of the text, and I would prefer to have the app stretch out. So one option you actually have is, let's go back to YouTube. If we go to settings, no matter which way we turn it, it will still be in split view or 2-pane view. But one thing I do want to show is there is a kind of new option here on the new Pixel Fold. When you go into app info, there will be an aspect ratio. This is experimental. If we go there, we can select how the app will open. There's a app default, full screen, or a 3 by 2, or a half screen. So we can do a 2 by 3. YouTube will now look slightly different once you open it, and now it will look like a stretched out application, except you have 2 black bars here. So we can double tap on these black bars, put it in the middle or to the sides. If we go back to the aspect ratio and select the last one, which is half screen, now when we open it, it will be only half of the screen. There will be a much larger black area here. We can put it in the middle or put it on one or the other side. However, just like when you have 2 apps side by side, there is this orange border in the middle of your screen instead of around the edges. Again, this is very frustrating. We can also add another app on the side here. For apps that kind of try to really utilize this screen and what they call is optimizing it, I like to have it like a 3 by 2. That way it's still a stretched out experience, but it still has kind of a similar app layout to the phone. Here I have a piece of paper. I've just opened up the Magnifier app, which is I use WeZoom, and as you can see on the original Pixel Fold, it's upside down. I've tried all sorts of things trying to make this right. It just does not do well when it is unfolded. Now you can close it and use it when it's folded. However, sometimes if you start off while it's unfolded and you try to use WeZoom, you'll have to actually close it first and then reopen it. Then it will be much easier to use it. One limitation is with WeZoom, you can't really choose which lens to use. So either it's very blurry, or if you zoom in too much, it will be out of focus, and because it switched to a different lens, and you'll have to zoom out. One very disappointing thing is on both the new Pixel Fold and the original Pixel Magnifier, created by Google, is not compatible. don't understand. You can use Google Lookout though. If you use WeZoom on the newer Pixel Fold, you can. You can do it in full screen. You can even tilt it. The camera works much better. If you close it, it usually works. Sometimes you'll have to restart it because it has trouble. It has trouble kind of telling the aspect ratio of the screen and has to restart. But it works pretty well. Now, I will say when you're using Magnifier, the folds don't have the best cameras. They are decent. They're okay. They're not horrible. The new camera on the new Pixel Fold is, I would say, definitely a good step up from the original Pixel Fold, but it's still not as good as something like the Pixel 9 Pro XL or even the Pixel 8 Pro. It is just higher resolution. I think it just is a lot clearer. If we're going to talk about TalkBack, which one is better with TalkBack?
YouTube.
I honestly think that they're just about the same.
Asana. Play Store. Calendar. Play Store. Vote. Disc. Gmail. Search. Asana. Play Discord. Weather. Calendar. Photos. Gmail. Search. Google Search.
I think that they're just about the same. They have the same bugs. They have the same pros and cons, really. I don't see a significant difference of TalkBack on these two. I will say maybe the new Pixel Fold has a slight edge in how fast it is, and because it's faster overall, TalkBack feels a little faster, but I honestly don't feel like it's very significant. However, the speaker is a little better on the new Pixel Fold, so that is one thing to consider. However, I just don't know if there is a compelling reason if you are mostly a screen reader user to use a foldable. So if you do have one, I would love to hear that in the comments if you have like a good experience with that or a good reason or something that you can do with a foldable with a screen reader versus just a regular phone. Overall, the new Pixel Fold is a good upgrade. Is it a significant one? Probably not. Will I be using the Pixel Fold as my daily? No. The compromise on the speaker and the compromise on the camera. I use the phone as a magnifier a lot, and I use different OCR apps and Be My Eyes. I feel like the Pixel 9, even the 8, has a better camera and a better experience for those types of things. Also the truncation and the text being cut off, aspect ratios, all of that, it's still honestly easier to just use a regular phone. I really enjoy my Pixel 9 Pro XL. I even got a nice pink case for it. It is really nice. The speaker especially is very nice, and because it has a better camera, better speaker, better experience overall with low vision and even with TalkBack slightly, I just prefer the regular slab Pixels. When the Pixel Folds first came out, or just folds in general, I thought that it would be really nice to have a much larger screen, kind of a tablet experience, but in my experience, it's not worth it right now for me. I don't know. Am I completely wrong? Let me know in the comments. Thanks everybody, and I'll catch you in the next one.